Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. This is Boisterous, come to you with some Goodiness from the map Core Hell Compound LE. Spawning down here in the bottom left-hand corner, we have Shaor as the red Terran, and up here in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent, the blue Zerg Dswarm. Because he's not A Swarm, he's not quite B Swarm, he's really not even C Swarm. He's like D Team Swarm. I'm guessing he's fourth from the top. It's just an idea, but he's right next to the top as far as being manner goes, because he's just a cool guy like that with his all caps, good luck, have fun. Um, Now, of course, this game's going to be kind of late at night, because I might have forgotten to do it this morning, and then I had to go to work for 8 hours. So, I apologize for it being uploaded at what I'm guessing is going to be like 11. Whoops. But, sometimes we hurt ourselves like that. It would appear that Dswarm is going for the triple drone in action from eggs. And just as other announcements, me and Kadoink are going to be doing a lot more of the SCL. I think our next commentary is going to be on Monday. There will be more advanced information on that tomorrow, or Sunday, the 27th. Of course, that will either be streamed on my channel, which you can follow over at twitch.tv/boisteroussc2. I do a whole ton of stuff on there. Sometimes I play SMNC, sometimes I play StarCraft 2, sometimes I play Diablo 3. I like to switch it up a little bit. I like to play a little bit of everything, because honestly, I kind of have ADD like that. We have Shaor going for his barracks, walling off with the supply depot. There's going to be no scouting action, but Dswarm doesn't need to scout. Dswarm just knows how to roll. 15 hatch every matchup. 15 hatch fighting. Yeah, 15 hatch is my favorite strategy ever, especially in a ZVZ. If you 15 hatch in a ZVZ, like, you are one of my disciples. I love you. It doesn't even matter if you came up with it before me. I love you with all of my heart. Maybe I'm one of your disciples. You never know. And Dswarm is dropping the extractor and the spawning pool at about the same time. Once he gets up to that level of supply, it would appear that the barracks is coming up. It's building them marines. The supply depot is just, it's building that supply depot. This overlord's going to be coming into the base. I'm not sure what he plans on scouting. He probably should turn around, fly up to like this corner so like he can get a suicide scout off at like the 6-minute mark and sacrifice his life for the good of the swarm. However, it would appear that he wants to go for that suicide scout right freaking now. Shaor is getting an expansion of his own. That expansion is, of course, much slower than our Zerg players, because our Zerg player is kind of a boss and he goes for expansion first. This Marine is just going to be shooting and rat-a-tat-tatting at this Overlord, and this Overlord has decided to go for the Suicide Scout. He is completely committed. He's ready to die for the Swarm. For the Swarm, buddy Overlord, for the Swarm. Dswarm is building Queens. There's Queen there. It's Queen there. He's not yet building speed. He's probably just getting his gas up to the level where he can build speed, and then I'm guessing he's gonna be getting speed, because that's pretty standard. It would appear that we have 4 racks play coming out from Shaor, along with some command centering. This is a really low pressure game. I mean, Dswarm got kind of bothered when, he lost that Overlord. However, it wasn't that major. Dswarm is also doing, pretty nicely on both of his larva injects for both his queens. He got them off basically as soon as they spawned, at least. And that's always something good in and of itself. It would appear that a couple of Zerglings are getting ready to be ballsy. They're getting ready to creep forward. They're going to see a couple of Marines. They're not going to run away. They want to man up. Those Marines are ready to fight, and the Zerglings die, because they're Zerglings without speed. They really don't have a shot. Marines OP. Everybody knows that. It would appear that we have a couple of larvae pulling up. There's a Roach Warren. Ooh, are we finally going to see some pressure? Come on, Dswarm. Show us that 2-base Roach play. You know what's up. We have the Mule coming down for Shaor. He's muling nicely. He knows what's up. I'm surprised he's still producing SCVs and sending them to his main mineral line, because this is basically saturated. Essentially. I guess he could put a couple more things in there, but it wouldn't really matter all that much. Shaor is, I still don't know why he isn't transferring more SCVs. Like, he should just rally his SCVs from his main orbital down to his natural. However, I don't feel like ranting on that anymore. It would appear that this Marine is preparing to die bravely because this pack of Zerglings, it costs 8 times more than a Marine, so it can take a Marine down. It actually costs 4 times more than a Marine. But you get my drift. I like ripping on Marines on a Terran being OP. It's so much fun. You guys have no idea. These Zerglings are going to sweep into natural. These Zerglings being very ballsy. And they're going to get out completely unscathed. This one Marine took a couple pot shots, but they did manage to kill an SCV. Which, although not a lot of harassment, it's harassment. It's still something that he has to show for it. Plus the fact that he's forcing these 2 bunkers to be placed down. I mean, you can salvage those and you get 75 minerals down. Back. However, it's still 100 minerals that are taken away from your current amount of minerals, which is quite annoying. It slows down your third base. It's not that efficient of a way to go. The third base for a Zerg player at the same time is coming up, and really, he doesn't have any sort of force to actually deal damage here. These bunkers are completely unneeded, and these Zerglings are ridiculously ballsy. Oh, they're sweeping right up into the main base. They're going to be going for a couple kills in the mineral line. It looks like they're going to get 1. Come on, Zerglings, you got this. 2. Can they get 3? Alright, 3's kind of worth it for a Zergling pack of that size. I think it was only 10 Zerglings. And honestly, 3 SCVs for 10 Zerglings is, it's a pretty even trade. It's not that bad. The income, harvester-wise, is actually very heavily in the Terran's favor. That's probably because of these heavy, heavy roach numbers from Dswarm. Not something I completely agree with. I think that really, if you're going for a third base, you want to get that worker count up, and then you start building roaches. Just go for like the hardcore DRG style, where with those 10 Zerglings, he probably could have at least scared a push off for long enough, where he would be able to get his 75 drones up and then just start mashing roaches. However, it looks like Shaor is ready to be decisive. He's ready to make his move. He's crossing the map. This isn't really going to be that strong of a timing attack. It's not lined up with +1/+1 or anything. He's going to make sure both towers are cleared, and really Dswarm should have both towers. I don't know why he does not. However, even if he doesn't see this attack coming, he has plenty to defend it. Even though he has a round of 11 Zerglings or 11 drones coming up, this is still a crap ton of roaches. Like, just a frighteningly large amount of roaches, and with only 4 marauders, Marines are kind of just roach food. And here comes the engagement. I don't quite agree with him not engaging on creep or in kind of a crappy arc. That was actually a really crappy arc for a Zerg player. He should still come out on reasonably on top of this engagement, but he lost definitely a couple more units than he really needed to there. He is going to be reinforcing with 9 more roaches now. Is his income? His income is still below the Terran players. That's not what you want, especially considering the fact that you're a base ahead. There's basically no reason for you to be behind your opponent's income if you're a base ahead. There really isn't. And it looks like this heavy roach play, I think, is actually slowing Dswarm down. That's just me. I don't like such heavy roach plays that it makes your economy slower than your opponent's, because honestly, it's useless. These roaches currently are not doing anything for him. They're just there. You really, as a Zerg player, you don't need those roaches yet. Just get your economy up, get like 2 macro hatches, get a couple extra queens, get some creep spread rolling, and then you're good. You literally do not need anything more than that. Get your tech up. That's also extremely important. Does he have Galil Reconstruction? No, he does not. He should probably also get Galil Reconstruction. I mean, this is kind of a sloppy game from the Zerg player. And Shaor he's playing pretty well. He's going for that very standard bio-type play. I would like to see him go for at least a couple of medevacs. He even has a starport out. He just hasn't really produced any. Because honestly, dropping against a roaching player is extremely powerful, to be quite perfectly honest. Especially if he manages to drop pretty soon, he manages to get the Spire down before a large amount of Mutalisks comes up. I mean, that's basically the perfect situation, because there's really nothing that can be done about that. It looks like these Zerglings are being quite annoying. They're actually going to start sniping off some mules, and mules are very, very important. I mean, both of these mules had like 100 minerals left on them. So he just shut down quite a bit. These Zerglings, oh, 4-kill hero Zergling. All these Zerglings have now blooded their swords, and he manages to completely clear out this mineral line with 3 Zerglings. That's pretty huge. I mean, that's not a bad achievement. Now, of course, it's still not quite going to get him ahead of his opponent. Actually, it is going to get him ahead, probably because he killed off those 3 mules, and those 3 mules were quite huge. However, it looks like we have 5 Mutalisks on the way, so I don't think Dswarm really wants to build any more drones. He has 70, and 70 is a fair amount. I would like to see him build like 5 more, just to get up to that really solid, meaty 75 drones that a lot of pro players favor. But he's getting Glial Reconstruction, or Reconstitution? Yeah, Glial Reconstitution right now, and he's pushing out a bit early for my tastes. I would like to see him get a heftier Mutaball up before he goes for this push, and probably Glial Reconstitution. Although, I guess that's not really that important because his opponent doesn't have siege tanks, and siege tanks are the... Oh, he does have siege tanks. He just doesn't have siege mode yet. Oh, and he's going for the 3rd base. That's good. He should probably... That's actually a pretty smart move there, Dswarm. It looks like the opponent's force is coming up from behind. However, this is a huge amount of roaches. He is getting kind of like cornered in, again, this is kind of crappy positioning. However, without any siege tanks, he should at least be able to win versus Shaor's forces. Where are his Mutaballs? It's up there. The roaches are actually kind of decimated this Terran army. That was kind of a slaughter, actually. I'm surprised they didn't send a siege tank down there. A siege tank would have worked wonders there. It would appear that this 3rd has been effectively denied. I'm amazed he didn't swoop in with these Mutalisks. There isn't even any supply or missile turrets up in Shaor's main base. Like, he literally could have just completely destroyed some stuff. This siege tank is probably gonna be the miracle hero of this defense, because without these 2 siege tanks, I could have conceivably seen Shaor's entire base going down. It would appear that a couple of beautiful drops in the main base are going to snipe off a lot of workers and actually a lot of units, and a queen in this situation is pretty huge, especially considering the fact that he's kind of gotten a bit sloppy, as a lot of lower level Zerg players do with his injects in this late game stage, because now he is super far behind. I don't think he even has the upgrade advantage. He has 1 armor versus 1-1. Yeah, this isn't good. There's going to be a slight surround by these Zerglings. They're going to take a lot of shots for these roaches. However, these roaches are just going to get completely overpowered. Are there any Mutalisks? There's basically no Mutalisks. This is not... Oh. Roaches are pretty good, especially roaches that are constantly getting spawned. Who knew? It looks like 2-2 is on the way for our Zerg player, along with another 9 roaches. He really needs to get his queens back up, though. And there is the 2 queens coming up for both of his main and his natural. He really needs to... I don't know what he needs to pull off here, but it's something close to miraculous-ish. I guess it would need to be more miraculous if Shaor actually pulled these siege tanks. And God, this game is kind of harass heavy. And it's not even like the cleanest harass. Like, these Mutalisks are not in a situation they want to be in. They can kill off these Marines. However, one of them's going to die, and that's not really what you want. You never want to lose Mutalisks. He really needs to start targeting down these SCVs that are building the missile turrets. Because, honestly, yeah, these missile turrets are not going to finish in time. I don't know why he's doing this. He's trying to, like, start playing the campaign halfway through the game. And actually, the missile turret does finish. I am highly impressed. It's not really an amazingly well... Oh, 3 missile turrets finished. And actually, apparently, entrapping Mutas with missile turrets works well. Dswarm's base is probably gonna... Yeah, he's gonna be fine here. He has a beautiful arc with these roaches. The Glial Reconstitution is very important, especially in these off-creep situations, and he should... I'm still amazed that he hasn't spread his creep that far, especially considering the fact that he's still missing larva injects. He hasn't larva injected with either of the queens that he just made. It looks like these roaches are going to be pushing across the map, and this is, like, this is why you need to larva inject. You either need to larva inject or you need like 4 hatcheries. Because honestly, you never want to get like a 4K bank without being maxed as Zerg. And that's maxed with like 100 larvae in stock. Just so that as soon as your army's down, you just push, full army again, and you win the game with that second wave of just full roaches, because that's a really good strategy. It's something that was described a lot a while ago as the 300 supply push that Zerg could pull off, and it's a fantastic thing. It can also be done by Protoss with Warp Gate and like Warp Prisms. However, it's way better for Zerg players. All these roaches are probably gonna die. Shaor kind of played a bit more sloppy in the early game. However, he's really solidified in this late game. He's doing beautiful Terran macro. I mean, look at all these buildings. Almost all of them are producing something, and none of them are queued. Like, that is exactly what you want in a situation like this, especially versus roaches where you can just get so many marauders. Because honestly, this many marines can fight off an almost infinite amount of mutalisks. Essentially. And the marauders will just absolutely destroy roaches, and then they will run in and they will destroy bases. And then you know, they might just destroy the other players' faces. We have 9 infestors on the way, and these infestors are going to be quite huge in the next battle. The only real question is, will they complete before the next battle even begins? Because Shaor, he looks like he's ready to push. These infestors would probably just be getting out of their eggs. Ooh, 12 infestors. Jeez, that's so many infestors. If those infestors finish, I could actually conceivably see Dswarm making an awesome comeback. Because infestors are quite ridiculous still at this stage of the game. I like to see them more paired up with banelings than roaches, because honestly, you need that large splash damage from the banelings to really just boom and kill all of your opponent's marines. However, you know, it's not awful just on their own, because they just drain the hell out of energy. We have +3 ranged attacks on the way. He really needs to start making more roaches, though. Oh, we're going to have a split drop. This is a beautiful play currently, because this is actually like one of the best split drops I've ever seen, because this is an army that will decimate your base, and this is an army that will just, like, that's just annoying. It's an army that is a distraction, and it's very, very annoying. And it would appear that these infestors are they're not doing that well. This infestor is going to get a fungal off. Fungal! Oh, he didn't get a fungal off. This looks like it's going to actually be the end for Dswarm. Wow. That was a pretty cool way to split up his army. It wasn't like, you know, an even split or anything like that with some Marines going into the main base and some Marauders. No. It was straight Marines into the natural just to try to, like, stave off any sort of reinforcements, and then straight up building, killing power into the main base. Dswarm with the GG and the leading of the game. I would like to thank you all for watching this production by Boisterous. You can head over to youtube.com/user/boisteroussc2 to watch any other videos I've produced. You can follow me on Twitch TV over at www.twitch.tv/boisteroussc2. That's my channel, you know. And also, there will be a link to a Battle.net thread that just has a whole ton of information. I'll post in it whenever I go live. I'll post in it whenever I'm doing the SCL. Oh yeah, and also, speaking of the SCL, you guys should head over to sc2clans.org, sign up there, check out the SCL action, check out the SPL action, which is like the higher league version of the SCL, and just follow me, follow Goodiness, follow all of the commentators for the SPL. It's really a great time, and you guys should all check it out. So anyway, guys, this is Boisterous, signing out.